Oh, Griff, I'm not sure I have ever heard you flub a word. But anyway, moving on now for more reaction to President Biden defying calls to step aside. Let's bring in former Trump campaign economic advisor and Heritage Foundation senior visiting fellow in economics. That's quite a title, Stephen Moore. Steve, great to see you today. Right off the bat, let me ask you for your reaction to Congressman Garamendi. He said, let's stop this speeding train of calls for Biden to step aside. I think he called it a tsunami also. What's your reaction to what he said?
Well, as someone who's working with the Trump campaign, we want to run against Joe Biden. So we hope Joe Biden stays in the race. And let's have this rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I've not seen Joe Biden in person for many, many years, so I can't judge his mental capacities. But, you know, the question was asked about whether Donald Trump should take a cognitive test. I've been around Donald Trump a lot, Anita, over the last 6 months. And the guy, you know, he's 15, 16 years older than me, and his mental capacity is amazing. I'm slowing down a little bit, but he is not. And so I think the difference in their mental capacities is going to be an issue. But more importantly, look, I'm an economist, Anita. We want to run not just against Joe Biden's, mental health, but we want to run against his record. I mean, look, this is a president who's made the average family $2,000 poorer than they were 4 years ago. This is a president who raised the inflation rate to over 9%, the highest inflation rate we've had in this country in 30 or 40 years. This is a president who can't control the border. This is a president who's raised gas prices $1.25 higher than they were when Trump was president. So on the issues, there's just no question that Donald Trump has a much, much better record as president.
Yeah, but Steve, it is a fair question. And, you work with former President Trump. Do you think he would take a cognitive test? I mean, it's a fair question to ask him as well.
It is a fair question, but I'm not the one, I'm not the one to ask that to. The president is. But I just guarantee you, if he does take that cognitive test, he will pass it with flying colors. I see no slowdown. I've been with him now 8 or 9 years, and the guy's stamina and his ability to do 4 or 5 events a day, Anita, and to fly across the country, he wears everybody out around him. That's how he is in terms of his energy level.
Okay, well, let's turn back to the economy, your favorite subject, because it's always about the economy and politics, right? And last night, President Biden touted the economy in the exclusive interview with ABC News' George Stephanopoulos. Let's listen to what he said.
Just today, just announced 200,000 new jobs. We're moving in a direction that no one's ever taken on. We now have 16 Nobel laureates, 16 of them in economics, saying that Biden's next term would be, based on what he wants to do, enormous success. Trump's plan would cause a recession, would significantly increase inflation.
Okay, so he touted the June jobs report. He said 206,000 new jobs. We have a graphic to show our audience about where these jobs are. There you see 206,000 new jobs. Where are these jobs? They are in the government sector. They are in healthcare. Some jobs in construction. Manufacturing is down. But you talked a lot about, there we go, there's the graphic. What do you think about where these jobs are? Most of them in the government and healthcare sectors. What does that tell you about the economy?
It tells us that we're growing the economy in all the wrong places, Anita. We don't want the government to be hiring more workers. My God, we're running a $2 trillion annual deficit, which, by the way, makes probably Joe Biden, you could make a strong case he's the most financially reckless president in American history. We've never seen anything like this before. And where are the jobs? They are government workers at a time. Look, if you're running a business and you're losing $2 trillion a year, you don't go out there and hire more and more workers, which is exactly what the government's done. By the way, the healthcare system is a kind of appendage of the government. And then you look at the sectors where people make things in America, the construction industry, the manufacturing industry, wholesaling, mining, drilling. All of those are moribund right now, and we're not seeing the kind of jobs that you can raise a family on. So I don't see. Oh, one other quick thing, Anita. If you look at the jobs over the last 3 or 4 months, most of them are part-time jobs. They're not 40-hour jobs. So this is one of the reasons people can't afford to pay, for their gas, for their groceries, for their mortgage, for their rent, and why people are wrecking. You may have seen just last week, over $1 trillion of credit card debt now. People are going more and more delinquent on their credit card debt. They can't pay it. How can Joe Biden say that's a good economy? Has he gotten out? Has he gone to a gas station recently?
And no question, people are running up their credit cards in a lot of debt. We had hoped to talk to you, Steve, about you have some good ideas for college debt, but we're going to have to hold that for another time, so we'll have to have you back. Steve Moore, thanks so much for joining us today with your thoughts.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.